I said one thought, two thought, red thought, blue thought, gravy so cold, bitch, I think I need a flu.
Hey yo, what's poppin' everybody? My name is Fab Crayon. You guys are viewing my beautiful channel. But welcome back to a brand new video, guys. As you guys can see by the title, this is kind of a crazy story, I guess. It's the time that I almost died, This is like the closest thing that I've gotten to death. Now, this story is not clickbait. I actually did almost technically die, I guess you could say. But yeah, let's get started. So this began back when I was right around 8 years old, you guys. So this happened in my old house where I used to live. So I lived in this really nice house. It's still our house. It's just that we just use it, when we go to vacation to this certain area. This happened one day. My mom was like, hey, can you go ahead and go and get the mop upstairs? Because she was cleaning the kitchen and I was just playing around, right? Playing with myself, I'm kidding though. So I was just playing right there, and then she's like, can you get the mop upstairs? I'm like, yeah, of course, why not? So I start heading upstairs, and the thing is, I didn't even get to go to the first step, right? Because my mom wanted the mop to go ahead and like dry off the water so no one would slip on the first day, right? I think you guys can see where I'm going with this. So I decide to go ahead and start climbing up, right? And here's how I placed it. So my right leg was going up onto the what's it called, to the step, and I'm like literally next to the step, and I slip, and then I fall down and I crack open my head. But at the time I didn't even realize it. My mom starts screaming. I'm like, what the heck happened? And then I see like this big drop of like blood just starts falling down. And I'm like, oh my God, like he on X Games, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm dead, And then I just start checking it out, and then I see it's like bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. So I'm like, oh no. And then my mom gives me a towel, and I put pressure on the wound, right? And she starts running upstairs to go ahead and I don't know what she was doing. It felt like that Vine where like he's wiping like the guy's like, hey, help me. I think it was Christian De La Grosse, I'm not sure, I don't remember, or it was actually King Batch, and that I remember. But he was like, help. And then she's like, okay. And then she starts going upstairs and starts doing her makeup, and then she's like, hello. She's like, don't rush me. That's what it felt like. So yeah, so I'm like right there on the floor, and I'm like waiting, and then she finally tells us to go, right? The thing is, like, the nearest hospital was actually right around a mile or so, and that was like the only hospital in the town that I was born at. So we start walking, and it takes us like right around 15 minutes, and keep that in mind, 15 minutes with the wound. Imagine of the top of your eyebrow, right? Like the very top, and then it starts going into it gets down to like your forehead, right? So it's a really like your freaking like the top of your forehead. So it's like a really big wound, right? It's like around, let's say 3 inches, 3 by 4, I guess. It's like a pretty big wound, right? So like the towel started up as yellow-ish, and then when we got to the hospital, it was literally red. So it was like really bloody, right? So I'm like, oh no, like like I'm gonna die. And then like the doctor's like, did he not pass out? And then my mom was like, no. And then he's like, that's impressive. So I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you could have literally died out of this, because like it was a lot of blood, right? And it makes sense. Like I obviously could have died from that, right? So I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I'm so lucky, right? And then like he starts, and like he's like, all right, let's go upstairs. So they start giving me stitches up, and the thing is, like, I didn't cry because I was in shock, right? So that meant that they didn't have to do like any anesthesia or that. So so he just starts like stitching me up, right? And then he's like, all right, you could go. And then they just put me like this big ass bandage on top of it. It's like, it's big, it's not a bandage, it's like a towel-ish. I don't know what it's called. Find a picture, I'll put it up right now. But yeah, and I'm like, oh no, like how am I gonna be look? I didn't even care about my looks back then. I didn't know if I did right now, I would have not worn that. I would have not gone out at all. So the doctor tells me, don't show this to people at school, right? I'm like, all right. So like, what's the first thing I do? of course, I like open up the little thing so they could peek in, and there it was like all bloody and ew. And then they're like ew, and I'm like, haha, all the girls like me. So yeah, so then I start like showing them everything, right? And then they're like, all right, like that's cool. And then about 3 months later, they go ahead and unstitch me. My forehead looked like nothing had, oh my God. It looked like nothing had happened. So I'm just like, what's it called? Hold up. I'm like getting, what's, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting confused. Sorry, it's because I'm playing this game. By the way, it's GTA 3 if you guys want to play it. It's, oh my God, are you serious? Why a message? All right, anyway, it's like a really fun game. But yeah, so like so they start stitching me, and it didn't hurt. It just felt like weird. It felt like it was kind of burning, but not really. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened, you guys. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have, then please make sure to give it a like. Um, Also, my last video was not for views, just that it really did affect me. But make sure you guys get a like, subscribe, get the first video to 100 likes, and I'll be putting up the funniest story that you guys could think of. It's when I was drunk for the first time, and it's fucking funny. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video, and it's been Fab Crayon. So peace.